Let me turn to the question of climbing fees. I've heard a number of complaints from the climbing community about significant new climbing-related fees. It wouldn't surprise you. I know you're on top of everything that comes at the service, but the criticism is not only that the new fees are excessive, but they're often established under your special use authority, which doesn't require the level of public involvement that's required under your general fee authority. Would you provide us with some thoughts as to your response?
I have recently met with the climbing community representatives to discuss this, and both of those points were raised, specifically regarding Mount Rainier and Denali, where that particular authority is used specifically to collect fees for climbing parties attempting that. There really was basically no particular concern about Mount Rainier. They felt that the public process had been pretty effective. They had been involved, and the increase from $30 to $43 was relatively nominal and affordable. The biggest concern was around Denali and the proposal to raise the fee to $500 from its current level of $200. And we have not made a final decision on that. I think some of the concerns that were raised by the representatives of the climbing community were legitimate, both in terms of process and in terms of end result. And so we're still in consideration of how and what increases would be appropriate in the case of Denali. And it has caused us to look across the service in the use of this specific authority and the way it's applied to particular user groups and specifically climbers. And part of it is to the opportunity that fund source, that fee authority is that 100% of that funding is retained at the park level. And that has allowed parks specifically to increase its overall program of safety and rescue and professionalism of the organization. And I know when I was the superintendent of Mount Rainier, that was one of our goals, and it was very effective. And we ultimately reduced the number of incidents on the mountain, loss of life, as well as climbing rescues, by professionalizing our rank and file climbers from this fee program. But there is a balance we have to strike, and we're definitely looking into that.
Follow-up question: I know other countries charge international climbers higher fees. Have you thought about that, particularly in regards to Denali? I as you know, have climbed there on 2 occasions, and there are quite a number of international climbers. But
we have talked about it, and I would have to defer to our attorneys whether or not we actually have the authority to single out other folks and charge them a higher fee. I'm not sure that we actually have that authority.
Thank you, Director.